What the fuck, Over?
Here we are again.
Good afternoon.
How's everybody doing?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm all right.
Okay.
How's your workout going?
Workout, thank you for asking. Let's see. I put 23 push-ups on today.
Okay.
And did 17 curls each this morning and did about 20 sit-ups, and that's about it.
Have we talked about Amjad yet on here?
Amjad, no. I haven't talked about my man Amjad Umrani, the man with the plan. I'm telling you what, Amjad Umrani has inspired me to continue with these push-ups. That's the only reason I keep doing it.
Yeah.
He's got, Amjad Umrani was a student of mine, cadet in junior ROTC.
A long time ago. First couple of years, right?
Yeah. And he is now a state trooper, Indiana state trooper. And we stay in contact and everything. And he saw me do push-ups the one time I put on just for a joke, really.
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, that's inspiration, First Sergeant." He said, and he got in his camera in his squad, his trooper car, and he went out there and did 20 push-ups. And I laughed. I said, "Good job." He says, "Keep me motivated, First Sergeant." Okay, I will. And next time I did some more. And then he said, next thing I saw him and another trooper out there doing push-ups.
Yeah.
And then I did some more, and he, inspiring all the time, even though it was weak on my part. There's three of them out there.
Yeah, I saw that today.
And one of the guys that I saw one of the responses saying, "Amjad, you need to put them lights a flashing when you're doing this." So I'm wondering, Amjad, how many troopers you're going to get involved in this thing? The more the merrier, I say, though.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool to see.
It was really cool.
Because he, in high school, and even after, how many push-ups did he do consecutively?
Well, I challenged the kids their freshman year to do as many push-ups as they could, and I'd give them a prize. And I think the prize was a backpack or something I got from the National Guard. And Amjad, his freshman year, did over 100 push-ups consecutively without stopping. No breaks, no nothing. He did 120-something, I think it was, maybe 117. And then so it was all good. He won the prize, and so I challenged him. I said, "Amjad, your next thing, if you did that many, is to get over 200 your sophomore year." And sure as shit, he did. Junior year, he went over 500 consecutive push-ups.
That's crazy.
Okay, and then the final thing was his senior year. I got him to come to the classroom and do as many push-ups as he could until he had muscle failure. He ended up doing 714 consecutive push-ups. Now, he didn't even go to muscle failure. It was lunch. He stopped. He said, "I got to go wash my hands first. I'm going to go eat lunch." And there was a puddle of sweat on the ground and everything, but it was just very, very inspiring. But he used to do it. Well, I got him motivated, I guess, his freshman year. And he was doing as many as he could before he went to school in the morning. He was doing 300 every day.
That's insane.
It is. 300 consecutive every day in the morning before you come to school his senior year. So I'm impressed that he's done so well. I'm very proud of him. Yeah. He's a good kid.
Yeah.
Or state trooper now.
That's true. He used to be a cop at the mall, too, at first, while he was going through training or whatever. I don't know what the process was, but I know I used to see him there. And it's cool, chasing a dream like that. He always wanted to be a cop.
Yes, he always did. I think he wanted to be FBI. I don't know if he's going to continue on that after his career as a state trooper, but he's an excellently motivated young man. Yep, I like it.
Do we have any feedback from the Paul episode from people? I know we had to give you guys a few days before we recorded again to really carpet this tongue of mine.
What are you trying to say?
Compartmentalize. Is that the right word?
Yeah, compartmentalize the whole video so they can get
phone call.
And a phone call. Yeah. Yeah, I received a few comments on it. But the one interesting one, I told Pete Ruvalcaba. Pete, hope you're watching. We want to get your gist of this next weekend, maybe.
Yeah.
Because we've got Paul on the far right, even though he doesn't like to admit it, and we got Pete on the far left. And I don't know if you admit that or not, but I think it'd be an interesting thing. I'd like to call you, talk to you a little bit about it, and we'll see if we can get him on.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear that. I know I didn't do a lot of talking in that last. Well, neither of us did really.
It's hard to get a word in edgewise with Paul. He's a good guy though.
But it was interesting to hear a lot of things I haven't heard before. Probably won't ever hear again, unless it comes from his mouth.
The Satanism,
Yeah, I've never that. Yeah,
sacrificing children.
that those medical boats not really. Oh, he didn't say that on the air, but
Oh yeah, he did.
yeah,
The medical boats weren't really for the coronavirus. Yeah. What is coronavirus? The virus crisis. We're in our 27th day of.
Are we? Has
Yeah.
it been? It's almost been a month.
Yeah,
of
well,
quarantine.
I count from I think the 12th of March. I think I go back because that's the first day I took off. Even though
Oh yeah.
we went to the funeral and everything, but right after that we never returned back to school after I took off Thursday and Friday that week. So 27 days with this self-isolation.
That's something. Everybody's going crazy. I'm going crazy.
You know, I took Flynn, our dog, for a walk today, and I figured you needed to get out. It's a nice day. It's about 73 out today.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful day,
day.
sunny, and sure as heck went down to Trinity Lutheran playground. And there were a bunch of kids playing, dogs running around, parents out there, and so what virus, right?
Right. Yeah.
But
It's if it would have been cold the whole time this was going on, I think it would have been a little easier. But with the warm weather,
yeah, the weather is gonna try a lot of kids' patience, because you can only walk up and down so long with the kids on the block,
yeah.
So hopefully this thing will pass. I know in New York, I saw today that they talk about flattening the curve. They think that they flattened it better. It's getting closer where it's gonna pretty soon it'll start on a downward
Declining.
And I think it's because of the weather. I think it's because
think
people
so?
are getting outside. My philosophy on the flu and the virus, when you're indoors and the air's circulating and nothing's going outside, just keeps in, I think you're more apt to get sick that way than being outdoors where you can, like you
Fresh
and I,
air.
Right, you and I are about 3 feet apart, maybe 4.
Yeah.
Nothing so far with us. You can still go to work.
Yeah.
And but outside, I think is a good thing for helping this virus go away.
I think so too. Couple things I wanted to ask you.
Mm-mm.
Say
I said, uh-oh.
Oh, well. So for people who don't know, you've been deployed 3 times.
Okay.
Right. Once in OIF 2005, correct?
Right.
Desert Storm 90, 91?
Right.
Or was it 91, 92?
No, it's 90, 91.
Okay. And then Panama.
Yeah. I was in the Air Force. When I first initially enlisted, it was in the Air Force. And the story behind that, the reason behind that is for another day with my brother, John J. Jack. But, yeah, we went to Panama. We got
When
orders.
was that? What year?
That was, oh, shit. That was a Challenger explosion, and the Bears won the Super Bowl.
86?
Yeah. It was
Okay.
85, 86.
How old were you then?
Ooh, you going to make me do math now?
59, 69, 79.
It's in my middle 20s.
Middle 20s?
Yeah.
Okay. And during that time, did you know what you were there for?
No. We came down on orders to fly C-130 from Grissom Air Force Base in Indiana near Kokomo. And we got on a plane in the middle of February. No, the beginning of February, January, I think. And we flew down to Panama. Didn't have any reason, and didn't know why we were going down there.
No idea?
No idea.
Just knew we had to go?
Just we got orders. They're secret. You can't talk about it to anybody. And there were about, I think, 22 of us went down there.
Really? Only 22 of you?
Mm-hmm.
Did you meet up with any other units or anything?
Yes, we did. We met up with other units there. I think it was Howard Air Force Base in Panama. I think that's the name of the base down there. It's been years, though.
So altogether, how many people you think were down there while you were there?
While I was there?
Yeah.
I don't know. There were about 50 living in the barracks when I was there. So, and I don't know if there were... I just know that I hung out with the guys that I knew in my barracks. We worked midnights the whole time. We'd go in at 11 o'clock and get off like at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. But I don't know the total amount. Plus, Howard Air Force Base had their contingent.
So a good amount of people were there.
There were a good amount of people down there, yeah.
And so what did you do while you were there?
Well, our job was to unload aircraft and load aircraft. So what was going on? Where there were aircraft coming in, we didn't know why. There were big crates on the back of these C-130s. They'd lower their back end, and they have another smaller aircraft. I can't remember what it was. And we'd unload these crates and put them in the other aircraft, and we'd do that all night long. Take our little break, and go back to loading it. We never knew what we were loading. We asked, what the hell is all this? Don't you worry about it. Your job is just to load the aircraft, unload and load the aircraft. So we didn't really know what we were doing down there except for unloading and loading aircraft.
Did you ever find out?
I found out later, sure did. Found out that it was during the the Iran-Contra deal where Reagan had paid money to Iran and bought weapons for the Contras that were having a revolution down in Central America. Anyway, what we were doing, we were moving weapons from one plane to another, and it was all a big secret thing. We couldn't talk about it and anything like that, and we were told not to talk about what we did down in Panama when we got back to the States. But it was later we found out that Reagan, and then there were a lot of people went to jail because of the
Really?
Iran-Contra thing. Yeah, surprised Reagan didn't get impeached for it because it was illegal.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was illegal.
And you had no idea?
Had no idea at the time what we were doing. And, Panama was great, though. When you get home and in the morning, back to your barracks, and you get a little bit of shut-eye, and you go down to the beaches and go out, take a ride out in the jungles and everything. It was an interesting experience for me.
Yeah. How long were you there?
February, March, April. Got back in May. Not too long.
Really?
Call it TDY, temporary duty. Not too long, just enough to do our part. And I think there were others that came in after us, but it was a rotation kind of process.
That's crazy to think that you had no idea that you were moving weapons.
I had no idea
what you were doing.
No, I didn't know. I think I still have my orders. Say secret on them. Don't talk to anybody about it.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things. The military, they tell you do this, and you just do it. Unless it's gonna jeopardize your life, unless you're gonna get into a position where you might get killed, then you could question orders. But you just don't. You're taught not to question orders. It wasn't that big a deal. The bad thing. The bad thing about being down there was I missed the Bears Super Bowl.
You didn't even get to listen to it on the radio or anything?
Well, they had the game on Armed Forces Network in a big hall, and I was way in the back. I couldn't see shit. I had somebody tape it for me so I could watch it when I got back to the States. But and then the Challenger, when that exploded, that was just unbelievable. Everybody took a day off for that, and we were kind of just getting our bearings after that. That's pretty tragic, getting up there, and 70 seconds later it exploded.
That's insane.
Yeah, so I know, those two things occurred when we were down there. So
interesting. So you were in Panama doing that stuff. And then, because you were only in the Air Force, what, 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years I got out. And then I was out a couple years in the Air Force Reserve. And then I realized I missed it. There was something about the military, and I knew the Air Force, and I tried to get back in. I don't know if I ever told you, I tried to get back into the Air Force. I remember going down to the recruiter saying, hey, I got 4 years experience. I'll re-enlist. He goes, we're not taking prior service. So what do you mean you're not taking prior service? Yeah, I'm trained, He's, it costs the Air Force too much money to pay you. We could pay a private, train him, and it'll be less money than getting you in. I said, you got to be kidding me. That's the most ignorant thing I've ever heard in my life. So anyway, he said, well, you come back in about 6 months, see. And I waited about, 6 months, calling back. No, we're not taking prior. I said, you sons of bitches. So I went down to Army and Marine recruiters. And sure as shit, after talking to those Marine recruiters, I said, I ain't doing no damn Marine shit. Marines.
The few, the proud?
The few, the proud. The Marines, they don't think they're going to die. I'll tell you what, they do not think they're going to die. They're going to make the other motherfucker die. Anyway, so
it's good to have those people around, I guess.
No, we need them. We need all those hard-charging whoas out there doing that stuff. So I went down to the, Army recruiter, talked to him, back and forth. What's that?
So you got denied. You got scared. And then
then I went to the Army. And
this is a nice middle ground.
Yeah, middle ground, nothing. Shit. I thought I was going to be able to go back into the Army without going to basic training, go direct assignment.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, that sucked because I went to Air Force basic training, which was like, easiest damn thing I ever did in my life. Now that I look back on it, really. The Army said, you got to go to basic training. I said, I went to basic. Yeah, but you went to Air Force basic training. You don't know how to fire an M16. I said, how many times did they fire that weapon in Air Force basic training? Well, one day. When I went to Army basic training, it was 30 days of rifle training.
Wow.
Grenade training, all that cool stuff. So, and I'll be honest with you, even though I was not looking forward to it, I said, okay, sign me up, I'll do it. And I'm damn glad I did, because if I'd have gone to Fort Hood, Texas with no experience on shooting an M16, I'd have been in big trouble. So, they sent me basic training at, where was it? Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. We call it Fort Lost in the Woods. I went to Air Force basic training at Lackland Air Force Base near San Antonio. And then, then I went to Fort Leonard Wood for Army basic training. Took a bus back home after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took a bus all that way?
Yeah. Took a bus. It was cheaper. The Army doesn't want to spend money when they don't have to, And it was easier to take a bus anyway, so.
Interesting.
Yeah. I've had I don't know if it's an interesting life, but a challenging one.
I'd say it's interesting.
And the thing is, when I went to Air Force basic training, I was 21 or 22. I was older than the 18, 19-year-olds. And when I went to the Army basic training, I was grandpa to those kids. I was 27 years old going through basic training with 18, 19-year-old. Holy shit.
Get a lot of shit.
Oh, my God. Especially from the drill sergeant. Oh, my God. They hated me because they knew I was prior service. They knew I was Air Force, so they made me platoon guide, which means I had to march everybody, once I learned how, everywhere we went. And these bastards, these drill sergeants, anybody'd mess up. Anybody in my platoon. Anybody. Drop. Platoon leader, drop. Why? He's the one you're responsible. Every time somebody screwed up, I was doing push-ups. In front of everybody. They were laughing their asses off. But I was a lot stronger for it after I got home.
I bet. That's interesting. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's life. Life takes you on different passages, different ways, but I'm sitting here with you now, talking about it.
40 years later.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 40.
Yeah. So 61 this month. I'll be.
Yeah, soon. Coming up. Big birthday
quick.
coming up.
Yeah.
Something special's coming up tomorrow too, right?
Oh, my anniversary. Yes.
How long?
32 years.
It's a long time to be stuck with one person.
I am lucky to have that one person. Trust me. I'd have been dead if I'd have stayed in Panama any longer than I did. But, 32 years, and my birthday's coming up later in the month, so we're looking forward to the isolation on that.
Yeah.
I don't really give a shit about my birthday. It's never really meant anything to me. Anniversary, a little bit more, but because of the wife,
Because of the wife.
Your mother. But, it's one of those things. It's funny. We were sitting there talking the other day, and she goes, oh, my God. I forgot. Our anniversary's coming up next week.
I feel like you get to a point with some relationships where you both start forgetting.
Yeah.
And you're not mad at each other for it.
No, you're just comfortable. It's a good way to be, honestly. When you get to be this old, it's comfortable. It's comfortable.
That's good.
It is. I've got no complaints.
I would hope not.
Mm-mm.
Big plans for your isolation anniversary tomorrow?
Can't tell you that. I have
Good.
plans.
I'll try and get out of the house.
You need to get out early.
Ugh.
Get out early. Stay away.
Ugh.
Because it might take me a while.
Oh. Isn't that a good thing?
Not the way I'm talking about it, isn't.
Oh.
Well. It's all good. So, this 27 days really hasn't been that bad. I think the hardest time is when the weather's getting nice, like you were talking earlier.
It's bad. I don't want to be inside, but I don't want to. I mean, you can't go anywhere. So lots of dog walks.
Yeah.
Lots of work around the house.
Flynn's getting pissed off at us for walking him out in this weather all the time.
Yeah.
I take him, you take him. What the hell? He says, make up your mind. Who's going to take me for a walk today?
It's so funny to see how the lack of excitement when you take him for a walk.
He doesn't care.
He just looks at me.
Yeah,
Why aren't you taking me?
That's right. That's right.
You run with me.
I don't run at all. I'm lucky to walk around a little bit with him.
Oh.
So today we took out some stuff to get ready to put out for around the yard and the little semi-garden we have. Got some angels and things like that.
What'd you pick up on your walk today? What is this? I thought it was a cocoon.
No. These are...
I moved the piece of wood and they dropped and I kind of freaked out. I felt like a little girl for a second.
Yeah,
but then I looked at...
No, these are little buds coming off a flowering tree in front of the church. And I
Oh.
thought they were pretty. I like the trees, and so I thought I'd take a. I said buy. I thought I'd bring a couple home and see if I'd plant them and see if they'll grow. The beautiful flowering trees over there.
You've got quite the green thumb.
I do. I can grow anything. I can grow anything. Just get me out there. You know?
Yeah.
I remember when my uncle. And it's funny. That reminded me of my uncle when he was in the hospital and he was getting ready to die. You know, he was 80 years old. This is Jerry now. My uncle Jerry. And I remember him with.
Was he the one that fought in World War II?
No.
No, that was Bugs, wasn't it?
That was my Uncle Bugs, Uncle Sharp, and Uncle Bill. Both of them did. But Jerry, all I remember him saying, and I just went to visit him. All his daughters are there, Judy, Geraldine, and he said, "Make sure you take care of my garden. You take care of those flowers. I want to make sure when I get home, they're okay." And unfortunately, he never went back. But I don't know. Maybe it's just Grandpa up in Michigan, he's got a garden up there, but
He doesn't take care of it, though.
Yes, he does. Okay, takes care of it.
The vegetable garden?
Yeah, he takes
I thought
care.
he pays somebody to do that.
He does, and but he's the one that's always watering it, hoeing
okay.
it, all that stuff, and then she comes and lets him know
What to do?
Yeah, and he gives her about half the product, I think, that he grows: the tomatoes and beans and peppers.
He does grow a lot of stuff, though.
Yes, he does. It's a big garden. But anyway, it must run in the Marshall family, I guess, because
Yeah.
I enjoy it too a little bit.
I've never tried to plant anything.
It's easier when you get older because there's not much else you could be doing. And so
Yeah, I can imagine you weren't planting many things in your 20s.
I never thought about it. Never thought about it till I owned a home. And this is really the first home I ever really truly owned. And we've been here quite a while.
Almost 25 years, right?
Been here quite a while, since 93, I think, yeah.
Oh. I thought it was closer
Maybe 92.
to my birth. I thought.
No. We were here for a year and a half before your
Oh.
birth.
Interesting.
Yeah. Sharp was born in this house and he was raised in this city. He's the only one that's a true Hobart person in the Marshall family. I'm from East Chicago. My wife is from Gary. My daughter was born in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Yes, she was.
But we came back here after a little bit. But so you were born and bred in Hobart. So
Yeah.
you got some roots here. That's good.
It was funny when I forgot when Amanda worked at Starbucks, but she had a part-time job at Starbucks. I don't know if it was in high school or in the summers when she came home from college, but their name tags had the city they were from in, and what they did was ask for the city they were born in. So Amanda had Flagstaff on hers, and she'd come home and tell stories about people going, "Why are you here?
Right.
You're from Arizona?" She goes, No. I was there for a couple years, a year or
Right.
so.
Right. She was not even there for a year.
No? Oh, because then you guys went to Texas?
Then we went to Texas. Yeah. And then after Texas, we came here.
And you guys lived in Portage first?
Yeah, not very long though. It was just one of those things where I got out of the Army and we needed to find a place. I was in the Army. You have to close housing. You have to clean everything. And I said, Kim, you and Amanda, you go on home. I'll take care of the house. I'll take care of all the cleaning. You get us set up back home. Because I was the one that had to sign off on everything anyway. So yeah, she got back to her parents' house in Gary and looked around for a place for us to stay. She found a little
Duplex?
Duplex, thank you. Found a little duplex in Portage. We lived there for a little bit. And right away we started looking for homes. And wasn't making a lot of money at the time, but she fell in love with this house as soon as she saw it. She walked in the door with the pillars and it was built in 1915. It's got a lot of character.
Old ass house.
Yeah. And today we were looking at what we got to do.
Yeah, because it's leaking.
The basement was leaking, and I got to go over here. I got to dig some stuff up. But
That's going to be a fun day for us.
it's not that big a deal because I don't have to worry about going into work.
That's true.
I got all the time in the world. All the time.
Yep. When do you think this thing will be over? Think you got any new ideas
No.
for when we're going to be let loose?
I'm hoping when we start seeing what they call that flattening of the curve, and I think the weather's going to prompt it to go down, that curve to go down. I'm hoping, because I love my football.
We do.
I hope.
Well, it's
hope
supposed
August.
to.
I hope August it's over with.
Football season's supposed to start on time.
Supposed to, but they
And then What'd you read about baseball?
Baseball. I saw today on the news that they're thinking about having all the teams play in a central location, which is Arizona, with all the spring training stadiums there, but with no fans. They're trying to get out there to get that TV money, is what I'm thinking. And obviously, I'll sit there and I'll watch the Cubs play in Arizona. But
So, and they're bringing all the teams there, correct? Not just the NL?
I think that's what they're gonna do, right? Yeah.
Or it's not just the NL over there because the Sox play in Arizona too.
right. I know. I don't understand why they don't go to Florida to do some games there, but
Well,
I understand.
like you said,
yeah.
all the stadiums are within 50 miles from each other in Arizona.
Right.
And then and they're what, furthest to furthest in Florida are about 200 miles.
Yeah, I think I saw 220 miles apart compared to Arizona's 50 miles.
Yeah, because
all the
even
stadiums.
when I had when I was a part of that class in college where we went to spring training to cover that, we stayed in one hotel and man, we had to drive everywhere.
Oh yeah, I bet.
All the different states, Clearwater, whatever else. I can't even think of all the other places.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
it was
They're spread out.
It was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. If this thing goes on, and they do that, I would love to take a ride to Arizona.
Yeah, I would love to go see the Cubs spring training.
Wouldn't it be the real season though?
But I mean their stadium.
Oh yeah.
Sloan Park.
Is that what it's called?
It's called
Park?
That's their sponsor.
Yeah, see, I've been a fan since I've been 5, and I didn't know that.
Well, they're newer, and I'm pretty sure it's some type of water company because I've seen a lot of urinals with Sloan on them. So I'm pretty sure that's who sponsors them.
Oh my God, the Cubs play in a toilet. Jesus.
Not as big of a toilet as they played in the early thousands.
Do you think it was bad?
They were so bad.
Yeah, I know they were.
It was tough.
Well, they still had, and at that time they still had Sammy Sosa. They still had Sammy hitting that ball out the park. I mean, he was corking his bat and everything, but hey, if you ain't,
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
That's what somebody once said.
I don't find that to be true.
I don't either.
All the time.
All the time, just once in a while when you need it.
But yeah, but the Cubs spring training facility is supposed to be a miniature version of Wrigley.
Okay, I
think
seen that.
they've got some vine there, and
yeah, I'd like to have some vine here.
that would be
cool.
so cool.
Plant the vine against the fence. See, you got to understand, my home is
Tiny.
26 across by 130 deep.
Feet.
I live in I could touch houses.
Yeah.
And that's okay. This is the oldest part of Hobart, so obviously.
Is it really?
Yeah, this is.
I thought.
Well,
I know,
okay, down over there, downtown.
The historic district.
The historic district is older than this, right? You got 1894, 1889, I think.
I remember when we had class in elementary school, and we were talking about local history and the history of Hobart. We walked past one of the oldest, the historic district, and our teacher, she seemed a little more excited than she should have been, but she goes, "This is the first house to have running water in a bathroom in it." And we're like, "That's good. Okay."
Yeah.
So that was interesting, I guess. And I think they turned that building into apartments. I don't know,
Yeah.
but it's kind of cool.
It's an old town. It's basically it started. I don't know, 60s, 1860s, something like
Did it
that.
really?
With the grist mill, and it wasn't really a town for a long time. They had the trains coming through here all the time over where that Penny Station down over there on 51 that curls
Oh,
around.
yeah.
Yeah, long time ago. Wish they still had trains running through there. That'd be kind of cool to take a train up to Chicago and just have to be right there.
The South Shore's just a few miles away.
It is, but you know me, I like to be close. I'm lazy that way.
The South Shore is pretty cool, though. All the way from South Bend to Chicago.
I know. They're going to put on a second train track so they can have, because there's a certain point where there's not two tracks for ingoing and just one. So I know that they're trying to get the money up. I think they should have it already. I think to build that second track.
Huh. Well, It's been a good episode, I think.
You think?
Yeah, we're running low on time. For a
All
little bit.
right. Well, Pete, I'm going to give you a holler. We'll see. If anybody else thinks that they have something to add to this, please call in, right?
I know Braden wants to come on.
Okay, that's right. That's what you need. You need your buddies coming on here.
Yeah.
You do. You
Sure.
don't need these old men
But
spouting
you've got
shit.
the interesting stories. We're 24, 25. We've done nothing in our lives so far.
I don't. When you hit your mid-20s, you've done a few things.
Yeah, not that much.
No, but you've done a few.
Not things you want to talk about now.
But yeah, that's true too. You know what? There's things that I still don't want to talk about. I did when I was your age. It's ugly. I'm surprised God hasn't struck me down with lightning at this time.
No, he
But
just stuck you with Mom.
I've been blessed. I'm lucky to still be here.
Yep. And on that, we'll come at you again soon.
Adios.